You're listening to 17 Carat K-Pop. For more information about the variety of topics covered on the show, as well as my other podcast, How to Stan, visit 17caratkpop.weebly.com. And if you enjoy this episode, please consider becoming a monthly donor to support my work and allow it to continue to go on and be free for all to access for as low as 99 cents a month. Visit the Support the Show link on my site's homepage for more information. Hello everybody, and welcome back to 17 Carat K-Pop. Lots of news to get to today, so let's just dive right into talking about the latest in the world of K-pop. Taeyeon has another new song out on SoundCloud. This one is a collaboration with Seulgi, a longtime friend of his and a collaborator dating back to 2014, when Red Velvet released the iconic Be Natural featuring Taeyeon. And Seulgi is on a new TY track called Rose. In its first 24 hours, Rose reached 828,000 streams, 108,000 likes, nearly 32,000 comments, and 14.8 thousand shares. It debuted at number 2 on Genius Korea's K-R&B chart. His older track, Monroe, re-entered the top 5 at that time as well, and The Other Day Blue surpassed 3 million streams. Taeyeon also just reached 300,000 SoundCloud followers, and Lawn Flight by Taeyeon is officially the fastest NCT solo song to reach 18 million streams. It took less than 2 full years. Seulgi shared on a recent live stream some behind-the-scenes information about how this collaboration came together. And it's really sweet because she was apparently in the middle of a different recording session when she decided to squeeze in time to work on the song Rose. Interesting timing that if she's been recording recently and Taeyeon's been in the studio at the same time, and SM Entertainment just confirmed Red Velvet is hoping to make their next full group comeback this August, maybe Taeyeon managed to work on Red Velvet's upcoming album, working on a collab, adding his vocals to a song, adding a rap to a song. Just throwing that idea out there. This song was co-produced with Square, Squar. He had just started humming one day, and that became the melody they worked with. But Seulgi and Taeyeon both wrote their own lyrics for this song. And it tells a really interesting story with an interesting metaphor, as previous Taeyeon SoundCloud song breakdowns have detailed. Which, by the way, you can check out my deep dive into the meaning of those previous releases on all the episodes listed if you go to my website, click on the NCT Talk page link, and scroll to the bottom of that NCT page for all the Taeyeon-specific content. Anyway, here are some of my favorite lyrics. This dream is magnifying. I know it'll hurt to lie down in the garden of roses, but I still dream about it. Drop by drop, my fingertips are fully covered in scars. If I don't dare to be hurt by the thorns, then eventually that dream will be impossible. I find you in my dream. Seulgi sings, try coming over. It seems like it took a while for days like this to come. They go on to continue to use this metaphor of roses that have their thorns, but they need to get through this garden of roses to reach each other. And they feel like they can't hesitate anymore, like they've been waiting for the thorns to recede. But that's never going to happen. The roses will never just not have thorns. They can't just wait for circumstances to be perfect. So this is as good as it's going to get. Now or never, go meet each other. Go cross the garden of roses. After all, he sings, if I don't dare to be hurt by the thorns, eventually the dream will be impossible. And the chorus features the line, jumping through the rose. Just try coming on over. I get very much a Prince Philip from Sleeping Beauty vibe from this. Having to cut through acres and acres of thorny forest to get to the castle. That's kind of what I'm visualizing here. Wouldn't it be so incredibly beautiful if this had a full promo rollout and Prince-themed photo shoots and merchandise for Taeyeon? Again, when he says, this dream is magnifying now, I know it hurts in the Garden of Roses, but also I'm still dreaming about it, despite fingertips covered in scars. Again, made me think of Sleeping Beauty, pricking her finger and everything. But he's basically singing about how he's willing to take the plunge now. It's so worth the risk. No pain, no gain kind of attitude. He sings that one night I'd like to travel to a dream with you in the language only us know. And they talk about greeting the morning together and just listening to each other's stories. Maybe watching the sunset in this beautiful rose garden. So they do paint a really pretty picture in your head, while at the same time, those thorns keep getting brought up continuously. There's another interesting contradiction when he says, passing through the bushes of thorns before night comes. You shine everywhere so I could find you. So he's basically talking about trying to get to you before it gets dark out. Yet he compares you to some sort of star in the sky, guiding his way, some sort of reading the stars he can do for a direction. And yes, I know technically stars do shine during the day too, we just don't see them, but the point is, it's an interesting conundrum, because his ideal circumstance is not fully possible, just like his ideal look of the roses is not possible. They are bound to have thorns too, and the stars are bound to be dimmed by the time of day. He always does this where he words things in a way where there are symbols that are pretty easy to decipher about what he's talking about in the picture he's painting. But then there are always hidden layers to it as well. Different pieces of his metaphors you can interpret however you wish that are not as surface level noticeable as you'd think. So another really well done job. And speaking of really well done jobs, EXO's new album, Don't Fight the Feeling, is here, and it lends a lot of credibility to my parallel universe related theories. This is not just my crazy speculation as usual. It also has to do with, just a little bit, it has to do with possibly the sign given by the fact that this comeback was promoted with the words parallel universe in all caps. So a mix of references went into ultimately deciding, you know what, I think they're trying to talk about a parallel universe. So I was right. In conclusion, I was right. And this time we're finally letting the members be quote-unquote normal. As I detailed in the episode called EXO 101, the members were essentially lab rats. The premise was that they had these superpowers and they could no longer just be normal people. They were superhumans, which came with its downsides. This life-size maze in the overdose era, they were further treated like lab rats. In Lucky One, then they tried to break free but then just got trapped again, and full-on brawled with the guards when they see those shadows behind the wall struggling to escape that cube of sorts in Tempo. So if there are two exoplanets we're talking about, two main worlds, these characters have been stuck in the extreme, evil, force-filled world. And so now they get a much-needed break. Away from those supernatural forces, a storyline now in quote-unquote the normal world, on planet Earth, in our dimension. And this also feels like a full circle moment for a couple more reasons. One, in the Power music video, it starts out with a monologue where they show several music video settings, and one was the Don't Fight the Feeling setting that we didn't get to see premiere until now, so I wonder how long ago they actually filmed this. Movement of the planet and changes in outer space have always been an important element to follow through EXO's music video timeline. In Mama, this butterfly disintegrated when the planets aligned. Then the planets were the opposite of aligned, scrambled up again, and in the What Is Love video, they inch closer and closer to realignment. Then the Power music video features a monologue saying, the universe has been restored, distorted space has been reassembled, time has been reset. And the unpurified red force embraced two suns with darkness. That monologue, which features the Don't Fight the Feeling snippet, later on in that video, the planets are seen realigning, and the members seem to feel supercharged as a result. So basically, time and space were warped beyond belief, but then they were all put back together when the parallel worlds were balanced out as shown in the Power video, and therefore the Don't Fight the Feeling video, which had a scene hidden in the power video is a part of that realignment as well. And in this video we see that with a meteor shower, an asteroid hitting, but the video ends with a post-credit scene, the new video, of this spaceship or space jet of some kind up against a vertical wall of light in outer space. So it's approaching some massive entryway into a new universe, maybe. Maybe this is the calm before yet another storm. They thought they officially destroyed their alter egos and obsession. Nope, turns out they'll come back with a vengeance. That's my prediction. A few more details in their music video I want to shout out now. There is a close-up of those little metal triangles again that have been popping up in other SM Entertainment artists' videos as well, and I'm not sure what to think of them. Maybe they're meant to be like spy cameras. They connect all these factors of the SM Entertainment universe, and so they're worth noting when you spot them. Another thing worth noting is, as the credits roll at the end of the video, the members are wearing athletic, sporty outfits, and it very much gave me Love Me Right era vibes. So I wonder if that was intentional, like Love Me Right and Don't Fight the Feeling are in the same universe, which is the quote-unquote normal one, where they just go to high school football games and that kind of stuff. And it also has commentary, if it is in fact a nod to Love Me Right, about their desire to have nothing more to do with the parallel world. So I think there is a Love Me Right era connection, because remember in Love Me Right they smashed this TV. They want nothing to do with the screens that show a parallel world. They want nothing to do with that other place. So they get rid of this sense of being watched. A connection here that's way more likely to just be coincidence, but is really funny and noteworthy to me nonetheless. Sehun is back with a shorty lyric, which is from Love Me Right and now in Don't Fight the Feelin'. My favorite new lyrics from the new song are when Kai sings Get Drunk on Your Own Style, and when Baekhyun sings You Have to Lose Everything, That's How You Truly Achieve Freedom, which made me think that's another nod to the parallel universe that they get away from, and then suddenly they feel like they can let go and feel truly free. Last thing I want to note about this comeback that I love is the sweet shout out to XOLs at the end of the credits. We love to see it. Very excited to have them come back with such a special full circle release. And speaking of new special releases, let's talk BTS news now. RM dropped a new song called Bicycle. As part of Festa, the yearly month-long celebration featuring a ton of new BTS content in honor of their career anniversary, and RM's new song that was the latest advent calendar gift to fans essentially, is called Bicycle. He worked on it across the span of several months, and he really put a lot of care and intent into it, from the lyrics, which feel like a diary entry, to the cover art, which is a drawing made by Sun Si Moon, an artist RM really admires. It really has some lyrics that are really worth sitting with about how ironic it is to ride a bike. Because when you have your feet up on the pedals, the wind blowing your hair back or whatever, you can feel so free and independent, ready to go anywhere, do anything, experience the world, embrace the world. Yet at the same time it can feel weirdly poignant and nostalgic and kind of sad in a way. Like you are leaving something behind and you are entering this colder, scarier, unfamiliar place. It's an interesting metaphor that I can totally relate to, because traveling anywhere, somewhere, you're also traveling away from somewhere else. Whenever you go somewhere, you also leave somewhere. So there's really a lot you could think about when it comes to what you're hiding from versus running towards. And it just got me thinking about how traveling is a hobby where you have a lot of time to think. When it's just you and the great outdoors, and your mind can just wander as you move, that can be so exciting and thrilling and lead to tapping into your imagination and daydreaming, and can have actually really special, sometimes better memories than you would have from a conversation with another person, frankly. But that's also when you're alone with your thoughts, and that can be scary. That can cause you to spiral and worry and overthink everything. So it's just a really interesting juxtaposition he brings up about riding a bike, or doing anything that feels like a freeing coping mechanism. Also has its downsides, also has its risks that come with it, but that's life. Moving on to the second of three big BTS-related updates. The expectations and taboos surrounding tattoos in South Korea might be changing. As tattoos have grown in popularity, both around the world and in South Korea, despite a 1992 Supreme Court ruling that banned non-medical professionals from giving tattoos. And non-medical, they mean given by anyone who's not a doctor. So there is no official legal tattoo artist in South Korea. So Rep. Ru Ho-jun of the Minor Progressive Justice Party in South Korea has proposed legislation to change that. She would essentially, with this bill, legalize a regulation system for tattoo shops to be a thing. And she cited, in her argument, BTS's Jungkook as an example of changing views of tattoos in South Korea. Currently, because of a Korean Communication Commission rule, which is equivalent to an FCC regulation in the USA, tattoos cannot be shown on TV. So what Jungkook does currently is he covers them all up with band-aids before making a televised appearance. This law doesn't overtly state it would change that, him having to do that. That may be a separate department issue with their censorship guidelines, but this could be a stepping stone to that happening someday too. But it's just a proposed legislation. The last BTS update today is their boss, Mr. Bang, has made his debut on Forbes Korea's list of the 50 richest people. He took 16th place because he currently has about $2.7 billion. The recent acquisition of Ithaca Holdings was factored into that total. The last big topic before rapid fire headlines today. Spotify has an interesting new feature, to say the least, where they categorize your music tastes based on these algorithms, I guess, and seemingly random categories. But I think some of these categories actually make more sense than they were supposed to and gave me some good ideas. So using this feature, Spotify paired together as the key unique artist pair in my playlist as Bandmade with Chanyeol, the J-rock girl group Bandmade with Chanyeol of EXO. Now, when I just say that, it sounds like that is a weird random pairing. But the more I thought about it, the more I actually liked this idea. I mean, Chanyeol really, when he leans into his guitar playing, rock star sound, like in his new movie, The Box, the soundtrack for that, and his other more guitar-focused solo work, he really shines. So maybe it's not actually too crazy for him to work with a Japanese rock band someday. Another interesting combination Spotify put together for me, my dream dinner party is apparently BTS with NCT U and Real. My listening through time overview shows how young my music taste is, going as far back as the Backstreet Boys, up through NCT and ATEEZ. I kid you not, Spotify portrayed them as the three generations of music I listen to. From Backstreet Boys to third generation K-pop to, I guess, fourth generation K-pop. I don't know, but that was really accidentally funny to me. As was what they listed as my unique genre combination, because they combined my podcast listening with my music listening. So it says, congrats, your unique music combination, your unique mix of genres you listen to includes J-pop boy groups, idol rock, and government. From J-pop to idol rock to government. Plus they said that my sun sign is NCT. I'm an NCT sun, I'm gonna start saying to the point of annoying people. And I am a chain G rising. The chain G truly being a rising star in my opinion, so that checks out. Moving on to miscellaneous headlines. Big congrats to Mithra from Epic High, who is officially a dad. Congrats to TXT for their performance on Good Morning America. The Universe app for K-pop artists and fans surpassed 10 million downloads. While the other three members of Mamamoo decided to renew their contracts with RBW Entertainment, Wheein decided not to. It was odd because it was kind of a two-part announcement, where in part one, they said, well, after a lot of discussion, we couldn't come to a negotiation, a deal for a contract renewal, but we could reach an agreement to a contract extension till the end of 2023. But now this makes it sound like they couldn't even reach that, and Ween's goodbye letter makes it sound like she's leaving RBW right now. So I have a feeling what that means is, from time to time for the next few years, she will sporadically participate. But as for actually recording and working on the group's albums and being in their videos, I think she's going to just start doing her own thing entirely. Dear You, started by SM Studios, now has a 23.3% stake acquired by JYP Entertainment. That's right, SM Entertainment and JYP Entertainment, rival companies, are teaming up for what they call Dear You Bubble, which to me sounds like it's intended to be kind of a competitor of apps like Universe and Weverse. Epic High announced an online concert June 26th, 7 p.m. Korean time, which is 5 a.m. Central Time Zone, and you can get tickets via Interpark's website. Just 2 days later, Luna will have their own online concert, 10 p.m. Korean time, which is 8 a.m. Central Time Zone. Be a part of the official fan cafe for more details about that one. The most exciting news I've heard in a long time, the J-Rock icon for the ages, Miyavi, has announced a tentative due to COVID, but still exciting, North American Fall Tour for this fall, 2021. I won't freak out too much on the show, but you know inside as I say this, if you know by now and are a long-time listener, how giddy I get over music and live music. You know I was so freaking out. This is the best news I've heard in a while. Anyway, it starts September 30th in Canada. So fingers crossed that he can make it a worldwide tour very soon and the pandemic can really be behind the whole world sooner rather than later. Because the magic of live concerts truly cannot be replaced by anything virtual, and I really want the whole world to be able to get back to that magic soon. Sunjun from Infinite has renewed his contract with Willem Entertainment. As for Infinite Sunyul, he signed with Toussaint, his bandmate L's agency. Ha Sun Woo from Victon is enlisting in the military in July. Kingdom, spoiler alert if you want to skip ahead 20 seconds. Congrats to Stray Kids. Really thought they or ATEEZ deserved to win this season. No complaints from me. Really awesome to see. Side note, as I manifest the goal of having another season of Kingdom very soon, wouldn't it be so dope to have anyone from 17 really, but especially the hip-hop unit and the BTS rap line make cameos on the show? Or Mark Lee on the show would be great, because his schedule's obviously pretty open these days. Speaking of NCT 127 passed 11 million followers on Instagram. Reaching 10 million views are a bunch of music videos, including Fever by N-Hyphen, When You Love Someone by Day 6, and Mayday by Joy and Crush. Surpassing 100 million views, Irene and Sulgi's Monster, and NCT Dream's Hot Sauce, which is their fastest to reach that. RM's solo mixtape Mono has surpassed 300 million streams. Boombaya by Blackpink just became the first debut K-pop video to reach 1.2 billion views. And Do 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 by Blackpink just surpassed 1.6 billion. It also just got certified silver in the UK. Mamamoo's new album, WAW, topped iTunes in 21 regions. EXO's new album, Don't Fight the Feelin', surpassed 1.2 million stock pre-orders, beating a personal record, and it topped iTunes in 85 international regions. Taemin's album, Advice, topped iTunes in 41 international regions. And lastly, TXT is the first boy group in Japan's history to have a Korean song top Japan's Line music chart for 100 hours straight. That wraps up news and commentary for the week. Thank you as always everyone for listening, and I will talk to you all again very, very soon.